666 on your wrist, and if you ain't got the mark of the beast on your wrist and you lock up, what you gonna do then? Like, this is a joke. And so God is saying, listen to me, I will avenge you speedily. Just pray. You gotta accept me as Lord and Savior. And just pray. But watch this and understand this. Although I will avenge you speedily, it's only gonna get worse. Look at this world, it's getting worse. And that's why the only solution is prayer. That's why today I talk about prayer. So God, I pray you may bless us, guard us, protect us, and help us as we talk about prayer, dear Heavenly Father, to understand that prayer is our Lord Jesus Christ, the only solution we got in this world. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen.
The views expressed on this program are not the views of ZNS TV 13, and by extension, the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
In Harbor Island, North Eleuthera, I'm Charles Fisher. This is ZNS.
Your weekend news just got better. Exciting features. It's all about the feeling. It's the Northern Vibes with Raven Davis.
Good evening and welcome to Northern Vibes, your go-to show for everything arts, culture, entertainment, and so much more. I'm Raven Davis. Thanks for tuning in. This evening, we feature the latest news stories from around the North, highlighting the people, events, and innovations shaping our communities. We lead off tonight with the recent town hall meeting in Grand Bahama. Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis was in attendance to provide clarity on the recent arbitration ruling. Residents filled the Belinda Wilson Hall to hear directly from the nation's leader, joined by panelists including attorneys Terrence Gape, Gregory Moss, and Ernie Wallace. Shalia Roll was there and has this report.
Raven, the town hall meeting held to provide clarity on the recent tribunal ruling drew a large and engaged crowd with supporters from across the political spectrum, filling the room to hear directly from Prime Minister Philip Davis and legal experts about the outcome of the arbitration involving the Grand Bahama Port Authority. During the session, panelists carefully outlined each claim and counterclaim presented before the tribunal, giving residents a clearer understanding of what the ruling means. But it was a heated meeting that left those in attendance heckling members of the opposition, and the Prime Minister firmly pointing out who succeeded in this meeting and who did not. The Prime Minister once again defending the government's decision to take the matter to arbitration, stating that efforts at dialogue were not supported and that the government ultimately acted within its rights under the Hawksbill Creek Agreement. However, tensions in the room rose after the presentation when Michael Pintard, leader of the Free National Movement, made remarks on the ruling, prompting strong reactions from members of the audience.
Central government should be in control of the city of Freeport. You can, in fact, make sure that more of us in this room are involved in the governance of Freeport, but at the same time, we do not destroy the Hawksbill Creek Agreement. And let me explain why.
And one by one, as opposition members made their way to the podium.
What I'm trying to understand is, on the one hand, how the government's claim could be dismissed, and then your interpretation is that it is a judgment with damages to be assessed.
The reason we are in support of the ruling is because the FNM Ingram administration in 1994 saw the party as being liable.
The crowd reacted. But the legal minds in the room shared how the government won 7 out of 8 rulings.
The conclusion is the government of the Bahamas and the Port Authority are to attempt to resolve the outstanding issues identified in paragraph 373C of the tribunal's ruling. Failing a successful attempt, the tribunal will resolve those issues. And that was the conclusion of...
For attorney Ernie Wallace, he also weighed in, sharing his thoughts on the arbitration ruling.
The tribunal, we are of the view that the government's right to legislate overrides the Grand Bahama Port Authority's right under the Hawksbill Creek Agreement. That is very, very important. And having read that and liking it so much, I came to this conclusion that the report clearly concluded that the government of the Bahamas can only be resident in one place, and that is in the elected government.
Meanwhile, prominent attorney Terrence Gape was also on the panel. Here's how he believes Grand Bahamians should see the ruling.
Freeport needs to be a part of the Bahamas. And there should be no question of our citizenship. Our citizenship is Bahamian. So that when you think of Freeport, you should think of the Bahamas as a part of us. And that will be possible when we have gotten rid of the families and started to run our own city.
For Prime Minister Philip Davis, he also outlined the authority currently held by the Grand Bahama Port Authority, explaining that much of its influence today stems from parallel corporate structures, such as the Port Group of Companies, which are not specifically outlined in the Hawksbill Creek Agreement. According to Davis, as a result, the Port Authority's primary role within Freeport largely centers on the collection of license fees rather than broader governing powers. He said the arbitration ruling helps to clarify the scope of authority between the government and the Port Authority moving forward.
Left behind in that shell, the power to collect license fees from every businesses in this room and not much else. The Port Authority stripped itself of the assets they needed to meet their development obligation. And that's, as I said, it's important to keep in mind.
Now, the tribunal held that the government was in breach with the Hawksbill Creek Agreement on one claim. That claim stating that the government failed to enact legislation to permit the Grand Bahama Port Authority to issue bylaws to regulate public health and safety, including environmental regulations in the port area.
The tribunal said, well, we see this breach, but it's very difficult to be able to discern what damages, if any, one can get for that breach. And that's what they said. We accept what they said. We're not running from that. Yes, they want that. And we're prepared to. It's a question of them sending us regulations and then we approving it or not approving it. No one has said that we wouldn't do that. So we'll proceed on that basis. But that is where it is today.
Now, Raven, after reviewing the ruling, the panel concluded that the government ultimately succeeded in 7 of the 8 claims brought by the Port Authority, a result they said reinforces the government's position in the dispute. So what happens next? Well, the government and the Grand Bahama Port Authority were initially scheduled to return before the arbitration tribunal on March 6, 2026, to revise the monetary value tied to the government's original $357 million claim. However, that hearing has now been postponed to allow the government additional time to consult with professional accountants and make further adjustments to the figure.
Well, a long-running legal dispute over who has the authority to regulate electricity in Freeport may be moving toward resolution. An international tribunal has ruled that Parliament has the right to enact legislation governing utilities in the port area, a finding that could have major implications for the ongoing court battle between the Grand Bahama Port Authority and the Utilities Regulation and Competition Authority. The issue touches on a broader question of governance in Freeport and whether regulatory authority rests with the government of the Bahamas or the Grand Bahama Port Authority under the Hawksbill Creek Agreement. The issue was brought to light by attorney Gregory Moss during the recent town hall meeting. The details in this report.
There remains an ongoing legal battle in the courts over power regulation rights in the Freeport area. The dispute exists between the Utilities Regulation and Competition Authority, URCA, and the Grand Bahama Port Authority, both of which maintain they have regulatory authority over electricity in the port area. In an interview with ZNS News in June of 2024, IRCA's Corporate and Consumer Relations Manager Juan McCartney outlined the agency's position.
In 2015, when the Electricity Act was passed, IRCA was made the regulator of electricity throughout the Bahamas, inclusive of Grand Bahama and the port area.
For years, that position has been challenged by the Grand Bahama Port Authority. In fact, on its website, under the City Services Power Regulation tab, the Port Authority states that it is the regulatory body responsible for the power sector in Grand Bahama, including oversight of the Grand Bahama Power Company. Although the matter remains before the courts, the issue also surfaced during the recent arbitration proceedings between the government of the Bahamas and the Grand Bahama Port Authority.
The tribunal acknowledged that there was a case on it, but held that that didn't stop them from ruling on it.
Speaking at the Clearing the Air Town Hall meeting held Monday, March 9th, panelist and attorney Gregory Moss explained that the tribunal's findings support the government's authority to legislate over utilities in the port area.
So this dispute that was live before this decision as to who the regulator was and the Port Authority's assertion that they were the regulators of their own licensees is now gone. The utility companies are regulated by whatever entity the government establishes by statute, which is presently IRCA.
Attorney Moss also explaining that GBPA divested its interest in the Grand Bahama Power Company, a fact he says factored into the tribunal's decision.
The tribunal held that the Port Authority could not make claims for rights allegedly infringed in relation to third-party utility companies. That's the first point. They said you sold all of those utilities, you used to own them, but you sold them, and if someone is going to complain about it, it should be the companies that you sold it to. You no longer have a right to assert that claim.
Attorney Moss says the tribunal's findings will have significant implications for the current court battle between IRCA and the Grand Bahama Port Authority over who holds regulatory authority for power in Freeport.
It's an arbitration tribunal that was composed of judges of high eminence in the Commonwealth world. And so this, no doubt, this ruling will be viewed by the courts as binding.
Well, the recent town hall meeting also bringing with it much controversy, as some members of the opposition charged that it was a PLP rally and not a meeting. Well, the Member of Parliament for Central Grand Bahama and Coalition of Independents candidate for the area, Iram Lewis, also sharing a different view. He says Grand Bahamians turned out in large numbers to hear from the nation's leader and gain greater clarity on the ruling. Lewis says that goal was accomplished, adding that many of the questions surrounding the matter have now been addressed.
It's clear what the Port Authority is responsible for, the management of the city. The central government has sovereign rights, and it was also good to know that now IRCA is responsible now for the regulation of the utility services, meaning water and power, and that was always a situation that wasn't clear. But now there's full clarity. So now the important thing is now to sit down at the table and map the way forward. When the original Hawk Creek Agreement was signed in 1955, Freeport was a pie and barren. The city didn't exist. So nowadays, the dynamics have changed, and I am sure when they sit at the table, they will consider all that we have now and figure out a way to make the city of Freeport move in a more positive manner.
Meanwhile, the Grand Bahama Port Authority maintains that the arbitration between the government of the Bahamas and the Grand Bahama Port Authority has concluded. The GBPA emphasizes it does not challenge the sovereignty of the Bahamas and does not participate in politics. In a press release issued, the port noting that the tribunal rejected the government's $357 million reimbursement claim in full, adding that the GBPA does not owe any payment to the government as a result of the claim. Further, the release adds that the licensees, businesses and residents contribute over $200 million annually in taxes, fees, and other revenue. The statement concludes that GBPA remains committed to continued collaboration with the government of the Bahamas to support Freeport's growth. Now, the full statement is available on our social media pages. In other news, the parliamentary commissioner is reminding Bahamians that transferring their voter registration is more than a routine administrative step. Officials say failing to update your information could lead to serious consequences, including potential criminal penalties. Our news team has more on why voters are being urged to make the change before the next election cycle. Jolanda Thompson-Everest has those details.
If you've moved but have not transferred your voter registration, you could be breaking the law. Parliamentary commissioners warning voters that failing to update their registration after moving to another constituency could carry serious consequences and in some cases may even amount to a criminal offense.
We in the Bahamas, our culture, our policies are that you vote in the polling division that you register in. If you move for whatever reason, particularly from the last general election, you need to transfer your registration.
PC Thompson says some voters who arrive at a polling station may find that their names are not listed on the register for that polling division. While they may still be allowed to vote, certain stipulations could apply. If a voter shows up with a voter's card but their name does not appear on the register for that polling division within the constituency and they insist on voting there, the presiding officer may allow them to cast a colored ballot. Each polling station will have a register listing all eligible voters assigned to that polling division and constituency.
If you don't transfer, you might find yourself in a position where you show up at the poll and you are not on that register for that polling division. You would be able to vote, or you vote on a colored ballot. But if they allow you to vote on a white ballot, for whatever reason, your name on the register, but you'll have to swear an oath if they're your challenge that you are a resident in that particular constituency.
PC Thompson also warns that anyone who swears an oath and is found to be untruthful will face charges.
If you swear to an oath and you swear and it's not the correct thing, you stand a chance of being charged for a criminal offense. So I want to encourage all Bahamians, please, make sure that you're in the right constituency, in the right polling division, and if you move for whatever reason, transfer your registration. We don't want you to be caught up with a legal issue at the end of the day.
Switching gears now, the ZNS family is mourning the loss of one of its own. Radio director Sabrina Brown passed away last week Sunday after a courageous battle with illness, leaving colleagues and the wider community in grief. In this report, colleagues remember the woman behind the microphone, a mentor, a leader, and a friend. The song Bind Us Together filled the foyer of ZNS Northern Service Monday morning. Staff members stood hand in hand, faces solemn in quiet reflection. Today, the corporation mourns the loss of Sabrina Brown, director of radio, who passed away on Sunday after a courageous battle with illness. Her passing leaves a deep void not only within these halls, but across the island of Grand Bahama. For decades, Brown was a familiar and trusted voice at ZNS. She first connected with audiences through television before bringing her warmth and passion to radio. On the Sabrina Brown Show, she inspired listeners, offered encouragement, and lifted spirits. Pastor Darren Roll visited staff today, offering words of comfort, remembering Brown as a woman who gave of herself, even while quietly facing her own struggles.
I believe that beyond the four walls, Sabrina would be remembered. She was not just a media personnel, she was a community person, and she was a believer. When a believer dies, there's hope that even though this body is in the grave, that she knows that one day she is going to raise from the what? Raised from the dead.
Her office, just steps away from radio manager Keith Taylor, was known as a place where ideas flowed freely and creativity thrived. Taylor says Brown brought vision, passion, and an unwavering belief in her team.
She is one of the reporters who was here when I first started to the corporation 21 years ago, and always enjoyed working with her. When she came into radio, the whole department had a bit of an adjustment, but I am proud to say that we were at a great place in radio, and that makes it so much tougher.
Staff members in the radio department say Brown was always eager to move ideas forward, always ready to help, always ready with a smile. The news of her passing came as a shock, but as they reflect today, they remember a mentor and a colleague who cared deeply about the people in this building.
I was in disbelief because I had just spoken to her, just checking in. And of course, she was high-spirited. My name for her was Sweet Brown Sugar, because people know her as Sweet Brown Sugar when she used to be on the radio, and so I would often call her that, because if anybody knows Sabrina, she likes to dress, she likes to look good.
She was always open, she was always welcoming. She just was so supportive. She was so supportive of not only me, but the whole entire radio staff.
Meantime, members of the Kiwanis Club of Freeport are also mourning the loss of a woman they say truly lived a life of service. The club remembering Sabrina Brown for her dedication to Kiwanis, her passion for helping young people, and the warmth she shared with everyone she met. The Kiwanis Club of Freeport is mourning the loss of a beloved member whose presence extended far beyond the walls of its meetings. For more than 3 years, Sabrina Brown served the organization with dedication, compassion, and quiet strength. Fellow members say she was the kind of person whose warmth filled every room she entered, someone who could laugh easily, uplift others effortlessly, yet turn her focus to the work of service whenever it was needed.
Everyone who knows Sabrina knows that she dedicated her life to service, especially to young women. If you had the luxury to be in the presence of Sabrina, you know that she carried so much kindness, so much grace, and just a spirit of encouragement. Every project that we had, every initiative, she was present.
It was really a pleasure working with her. She was fun, down to earth. She had a sense of humor. Our relationship is growing, and it's so unfortunate that, in my opinion, it was cut short.
Even while battling illness, Brown remained committed to the work of the club, serving as a past director and co-chair of membership growth and retention. But members say her greatest passion was working with young people. For Kawani and Marsha Cooper, the loss is deeply personal. Brown lived just a stone's throw away, and their connection grew into a close friendship.
She loved touching the lives of children. So anytime we have something with YCPO or K-Kids, she always want to be, I got to be a part of it, because of her Ames Girls Group. And one of the things what touched me for Sabrina was that everything was but God for her. Even when I spoke to her, I knew something was wrong. She still was telling me God is good.
She says service was at the heart of who Brown was.
We just need to go and touch the lives of everywhere in Grand Bahama, and even we could extend it. I think Sabrina needs to be an icon for Grand Bahama.
Now, as members of the Kiwanis Club of Freeport begin to navigate life without her presence, they say the next step is to remember her the way she would want, through stories, shared memories, and photographs.
We were looking through some pictures in our group, and we can see her with a bright smile, serving, head tied, aprons on, and getting down and dirty in service, even though she was going through.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Raven Davis. Well, you're watching Northern Vibes. There's more after this break.
Step into styles at Indulgence Ladies Boutique, located in number 5B Kent Building, just 2 doors down from D's Watch Repair. They're open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., bringing you fashion for every occasion. Weddings, funerals, christenings, birthday, brunches, or just a night out. From plus size to regular, they've got the perfect fit for you. Discover handbags, perfume, body oils, fascinators, belt, and so much more. All in one place. Give them a call today at 826-0110. Indulgence Ladies Boutique, where fashion meets confidence.
Hello. What time is the flight?
No one asked us to go. Hello? Into the storm. Into the chaos. To witness devastation. No one asked us to go.
Are you ready?
Because it's the story that drives us forward, that brings truth to light, that connects us all. This is why we go.
Breaking news out of Grand Bahama. Our Raven Davis has been covering this story all day and joins us live now with the latest. Raven, what can you tell us?
Yes, Shamiko, I had a chance to speak to many of the residents, and many of them are concerned about... Welcome back. The Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce has a new board for 2026-2027. At their annual general meeting, members wrapped up the year for the outgoing board and welcomed new leadership. Ralph Hepburn of Arawak Commercial and Adventure Tours steps in as president. Donna Lang Jones is first vice president. Karina Ferguson of Pure H2O Bahamas is second vice president. And Tia McIntosh Daverman takes on the role of treasurer. The board also includes several other members working to drive commerce forward. Outgoing President Dylan Knoll says it was a strong year, one that successfully pushed business in the right direction.
There's been a lot of work on the part of each of our committees. The Economic Development Committee, their key accomplishment this year was the economic summit that we put on, which was a huge success. Small Business Development Committee has spent a lot of effort helping to empower small businesses.
Karina Ferguson, who served as treasurer, says the chamber closed the year with a net income of over $18,000, a significant improvement from the previous year.
We were able to really decrease our expenses. Some of it was a change in administration, some of it was just in managing our funds better. Our board this year was very, very active. We also had a lot of sponsorship from some key stakeholders within the business community that really helped us, again, to be able to stay active.
In other news, it's a promise made and a promise kept. The Mount of Blessings Community Center partnering with ShipSmart to make a special donation to the staff and students of Holmesrock Junior High School. Mount of Blessings pastor and president of Ebenezer Foundation, Barry Morris, says this effort was aimed at bringing support to the students and enhancing their learning environment.
We want to impact the community with our thoughts of love, support, and care, that we can get the best out of these students. And so we decided to partner with them to ensure that whatever tools are absolutely necessary, that they would have it.
School principal Larissa Thompson says the donation will go a long way in supporting both students and teachers.
Bishop Morris, he actually made us a promise. He made a covenant with us, and he said that he is going to come back and give us donations where we need. So one of the requests was to actually have the music department have instruments. So he brought us 5 keyboards today. He promised us 5 more. So we are very excited. So now our music students will be making a lot of noise, but it will be healthy noise. As a matter of fact, some of them have actually signed up for the ABRSM exam. That's the Royal School of Music exam. So we're looking forward to getting excellent passes in the theory and the practical for music.
In other news, a gospel group is using their cruise stop in Grand Bahama to share more than music. During their visit to the island, the Southern Gospel Radio Group took time to visit Morrismore Primary School, sharing the message of Jesus Christ with students through song and worship, an activity the vice principal says is always welcomed.
It's wonderful to have them come and take time out of their busy schedule, because this is the second time they visited our campus. They had such a wonderful time last time, and the students really enjoyed them.
I just feel drawn to the Bahamas. These children are such a blessing.
The visit was coordinated by local organizer Derek Stubbs, who for years has helped bring gospel cruises and Christian artists to Grand Bahama, an effort he says not only shares a message of faith, but also introduces many visitors to the island.
She came initially with another group that I hosted, the Ship Family Gospel Cruise. And immediately after that, she contacted me and said that she wants to come back and doing her own cruise. And of course, she did that, and it's been moving ever since. So I do whatever I can to tell the world about it. I remember in 2005, I did my first conference, and I had about 250 persons come to the island for that conference. And I've been inspired ever since to continue talking and sharing about the Bahamas and what we have to offer.
Well, don't go away. We will be back right after this.
Step into styles at Indulgence Ladies Boutique, located in number 5B Kent Building, just 2 doors down from D's Watch Repair. They're open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., bringing you fashion for every occasion. Weddings, funerals, christenings, birthday, brunches, or just a night out. From plus size to regular, they've got the perfect fit for you. Discover handbags, perfume, body oils, fascinators, belts, and so much more. All in one place. Give them a call today at 826-0110. Indulgence Ladies Boutique, where fashion meets confidence.
Hello. What time's the flight?
No one asked us to go. Hello? Into the storm. Into the chaos. To witness devastation. No one asked us to go.
Are you ready?
Because it's the story that drives us forward, that brings truth to light, that connects us all. This is why we go.
Breaking news out of Grand Bahama, our Raven Davis has been covering this story all day and joins us live now with the latest. Raven, what can you tell us?
Yes, Rumiko, I had a chance to speak to many of the residents, and many of them are concerned about... And that concludes Northern Vibes on this beautiful Sunday. I'm Raven Davis. We thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week, same time, same energy.
Welcome to What's Trending. Join me, Jiminita Swain.
And me, The Bahama Beauty, Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m.
Only on the ZNS Network.
At the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas, I'm Clint Watson, and this is ZNS.
In addition, a bomb scare sparks chaos at the Lyndon Pending International Airport, forcing the evacuation of passengers and staff. Hear what officials are saying tonight. Plus, a major celebration at Exuma as residents and visitors turn out for a vibrant festival marking a significant milestone for the island community. And in sports, Team Bahamas gears up for Carifta. The Bahamas Tonight, the weekend edition, starts now. Happy Sunday. Glad you can join us. Good evening. I'm Desmond Saunders, and welcome to the broadcast. Chaos at Lyndon Pending International Airport early Sunday morning after a bomb threat forced the evacuation of the airport's domestic and international terminals. The alert disrupted travel plans for hundreds of passengers as authorities rushed in to secure the facility. Police and fire officials launched an emergency response as a threat was assessed. Lloyd Allen on the scene.
A nightmare in paradise for many travelers arriving at the Lyndon Pending International Airport on Sunday as a bomb scare was reported at the facility. Now, officials, upon hearing that concern, exited the building with many of those persons and employees on the outside as they assess that situation.
Oh, we got here in plenty of time to check through, get our check-in, go through TSA. Everything was great. Got a cup of coffee. We're sitting there, and then we were evacuated.
There's no information of what's going on. We heard it was a bomb threat, but we don't know. And safety is first, of course, so we're here. I hope we can get out of here as soon as possible. I have a connection.
It was a little chaotic. We were scared. We didn't know what was going on.
Tejera Williams, who was traveling to Marsh Harbor. I understand that you were just boarding your plane when you got the news.
That's correct. They told us we all need to get outside immediately.
Following the evacuation, hundreds could be seen in the nearby parking lot simply waiting for an update, which came just past 9 a.m. according to Nassau Airport Development Company Vice President of Marketing and Commercial Development, Jan Knowles.
At 9:13 a.m., the all-clear was given by authorities following this morning's security incident at LPIA. After completing the required safety screening of the terminal buildings, officials from the Royal Bahamas Police Force and the Fire Services Department confirmed that normal airport operations could resume. Passengers scheduled to travel today are advised to continue to the airport for their scheduled departure times, and members of the traveling public are encouraged to contact their respective airlines directly for the most up-to-date flight information.
Have you ever been through an experience like this, a bomb scare at an airport?
Once in Germany. But there was probably more information, more organization, and we knew exactly what's going on.
We might miss a connecting flight for our final destination in Phoenix. Long travel day.
They could have communicated to us what was happening. I never even was told that it was a bomb scare.
Just been an extra 45-minute wait, nothing too horrible, and feels like everything is getting moved back in the right direction.
Now, as that bomb threat turned out to be a scare, many of those passengers making their way back into the terminal just shortly after 10 a.m. and are simply hopeful to make it to their final destinations. Reporting from the Lynden Pinling International Airport for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Lloyd Allen.
Lloyd Allen on the scene. Lloyd, thanks much. Police on Eleuthera investigating a brazen Saturday night shooting in Greencastle that left 2 people wounded. Investigators say gunmen in a yellow vehicle opened fire at an establishment off Queens Highway before speeding off. 27-year-old man and a 30-year-old woman were shot and airlifted to New Providence for treatment. Police have since arrested 3 suspects and recovered a firearm. Investigations continue. Well, the Royal Bahamas Defense Force held its annual church service today at Living Waters Kingdom Ministries, offering Marines a moment to reflect on the year gone by and seek divine guidance for the year ahead. The event underscores the force's commitment to faith, resilience, and unity as they prepare for the challenges of the months ahead. Here's Fern Curry.
During the worship service, Royal Bahamas Defense Force officers and Marines gave God thanks for his protection as they safeguard our nation's borders, and they also sought his guidance for the months ahead. The service comes as the 3rd contingent of Defense Force officers who were a part of the Bahamian law enforcement team that helped to strengthen the peacekeeping mission to Haiti recently returned home. National Security Minister, the Honorable Wayne Munro, lauded the Marines for their commitment and dedication to service.
I would wish to single out Force Chief Petty Officer Farquharson, who was appointed the Regimental Sergeant Major, who amplified the service that this organization gave by deploying with his comrades before Thanksgiving, before Christmas, knowing that his mother was terminally ill and had to be airlifted back ahead of the deployment to be with her for about 2 weeks before she passed 2 days ago. That is the epitome of service.
Prime Minister, the Honorable Philip Davis, noted that members of the Defense Force continue to serve the country with honor and distinction. The nation's leader said investing in the security of the Bahamas remains a priority for the government, which he said includes cultivating the next generation of Marines.
The National Youth Guard, which we launched in October 2022, is our country's first national service program. I'm incredibly proud of the more than 300 graduates of the first 5 cohorts and of the cadets currently undergoing rigorous training in the 6th cohort. I want to note, too, that the cadets come from across our islands, from Grand Bahama in the north, to Inagua in the south, to Auckland, San Salvador, and Cat Island.
A moment of silence was also held for several fallen Defense Force officers who served on the front lines. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Fern Carey.
Exuma comes alive this weekend with music, color, and tradition. That and more when we come back.
Oh, isn't that nice? Wait, you missed it? You haven't been on the website. Here's how TDC can help you. Whether you're turning your home into a vacation rental, pitching a business idea, or growing what you've already started, the TDC is here to help. Visit tdcbahamas.com for every conversation, event, grant, and opportunity happening near you. Tourism is all of our business, and the TDC is here to support yours.
back at Little Caesars. And good. Our popular Chicago-style pizza is back for a limited time only. Enjoy this delicious, thick, buttery crust pizza that's packed with layers of cheese, meats, and veggies for just $18. That inclusive. Now available at all 5 of our locations. Little Caesars, Oaksville, Carmichael Road, East Street, Pineapple Plaza, Charles Saunders Highway, and 1 East Plaza.
Pizza. Freeport, Bahamas, get ready. Something powerful is coming your way. Join internationally renowned speaker Prophet Kofi Danso, known for restoration, healing, and life transformation. This is more than a gathering, it's an encounter. If you're seeking clarity, hope, or a fresh start, this event is for you. March 15th, 7 p.m. at the Entertainment City, Peacock Convention Room, number 16, Britannia Boulevard. Admission is free. One night can change everything.
Thank you so much for staying with us. A grand celebration on Exuma over the weekend as a major festival on that island celebrates a community milestone. Petra Murphy has more.
Bahamian music and culture took center stage Friday night as locals and tourists danced the night away to electrifying performances at the 20th Annual Bahamian Music and Heritage Festival in Georgetown, Exuma. Artists like Shad Colley and the VIPs, Iron Store, and veterans Veronica Bishop and Funky D owned the stage in a spectacular show. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, the Honorable Chester Cooper, says the festival that provides an injection into the local economy and is a favorite of his was first viewed as a mini regatta, but now attracts a crowd of its own.
We really showcase who we are as a people. That happens that day, and at night time, we have the mother of all parties. And families come, children run around, and our tourists get to really experience the Bahamian people, feel our hospitality, get to know us, and feel our hearts.
The island's Member of Parliament is not the only one singing the event's praises.
Food is great, entertainment and everything is great. It's really good. I recommend everyone to come here.
Local food vendors, one selling at the festival for the first time, another returning, welcome the economic benefits.
It gives us a revenue boost throughout the island, and we all look forward to it. This is my first time as a vendor, and I'm very excited.
It's been going well. You know, we always love participating in the Music and Heritage Festival. It's something we look forward to actually every year.
For artists like Funky D, Veronica Bishop, and Iron Store, it's an opportunity to share what they do best with the public.
It's always a pleasure when you come and you have all of your... It's like everybody gives you a different little piece of what the culture is about. Music is me. I live, eat, sleep, drink music.
Excited to be on, just to be here in Exuma.
I am so excited. This is my third year. So, you know, I mean, it's always good to push the culture being a young person. So I'm glad to just be in it, and I'm going to keep pushing.
With entertainers leaving it all on the stage during night 1, we'll see if night 2 can top it. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Cleopatra Murphy.
That looks like a whole lot of fun. The Progressive Liberal Party deepening its presence in the St. Barnabas constituency this weekend, but the opening of the party's headquarters, VLP's standard bearer for the area, also highlighted several initiatives aimed at benefiting residents. Wes Cullix-Forbes tells us more.
The launch brought together party supporters, residents, and senior government officials, marking what the party campaign leaders describe as a key step in the Progressive Liberal Party's effort to secure the St. Barnabas seat. For St. Barnabas candidate and Economic Affairs Minister, Senator Michael Alquides, the moment carried personal significance. He told supporters his connection to the constituency stretches back decades.
When I chose St. Barnabas, it was because growing up in this community, I had the benefit of community. I walked to school every day. I know and I understand, so when we all interact, I know the struggle of the single mothers who are trying to provide for their children, who are trying to give them a good education, who are trying to give them an opportunity, because I saw my mother do it every day.
Minister Alquides also highlighted several initiatives he says are aimed to improving the quality of life for residents in the constituency, such as education partnerships and healthcare upgrades.
It is unacceptable for mothers and families to have to spend $900 for one-bedroom apartment. So the government has to step in and build more rental units. It is unacceptable for landlords to say to mothers, yes, we can rent to you, but we don't want any children. Where are the children supposed to go? And so your government has accelerated its housing program and will be doing more right in this community.
Also in attendance, Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, the Honorable Philip Davis. He encouraged party supporters to remain energized this election season.
On the road to victory. The wind is beneath our wings and behind our back and driving us towards the finishing line. We don't need those winds to die down, and they'll die down if we don't, because the wind is being inspired by the work you do, being inspired by those voters that you carry to be registered or transferred. Those where they inspire those winds. And so let us not let those winds die, and you definitely will ensure victory on that date when the bell is ringing.
The headquarters will serve as the campaign's organizing hub as the PLP ramps up voters' outreach and mobilize efforts in the constituency ahead of the next general election. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Wes Calix Forbes.
The South Ocean Rotary Club is helping shape the next generation of male leaders with its second annual Leadership in Action Seminar. Boys aged 11 to 17 gathered at Holy Spirit Anglican Church to talk about what it really means to be a young man and a leader today. Rotary President Ramon Gardner.
There were young men that have really perplexed questions that as they evolve and mature, they want guidance, and we want to meet that call. And, you know, there's often this notion that young men in our society are lost, but this event is proving, no, they're not lost, and if they're lost, they want to be found. And so we want to help and guide them with that process.
Two first-time participants say they've learned the lessons that will guide them on their journey to manhood.
The main thing that stuck out to me today is that you don't have to have your entire life figured out right now. You know, I'm only 16, so I have a lot of time and a lot of years that I can use to really figure out what I want out of life and how I'm going to get there.
I think one of the most important qualities that they talked about there was that you have to be responsible and you have to carry the weight of others on your shoulders. I think that's definitely an important aspect of being like a successful person in today's society.
The new exhibition at Bahama invites art lovers to see nature through two perspectives. Understanding Two Views features 32 collaborative works by mother and son duo Sue Bennett-Williams and Jason Bennett. Curator Jordan Christie says the pair creates in a unique way. Each works on the same canvas at different times, layering their own interpretations until the piece is complete.
What you'll see when you're looking at the works is a little bit of both artists kind of at play. So you'll see a lot of Jason's collage work. So you'll see some black and white imagery of like corals or barnacles. And then you'll see a lot of his, what he's known for, his abstract, topographic abstractions. So they talk a lot about the landscape, and also they spend a lot of time hiking and spending a lot of time in nature. And so as you're looking through the works, you'll see abstractions of mountains or rock forms, and also flora and fauna.
Oversee says the exhibit is a fresh, abstract look at the outdoors, full of color, rhythm, and surprises.
I think when they come to look at the show, they kind of get a deeper understanding of the landscape itself, and kind of like this feeling or this idea of like landscapes are meant to be experienced in a different way, and exploring that memory and how we kind of like digest that.
Amazing work. Sports up next. Stay with us.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station. Open the app, scan the pump's QR code, select your payment amount, and begin fueling. Say goodbye to cash and cards because the Focal Smart Pass offers secure and convenient payment options right at your fingertips. Download Focal Smart Pass now and fuel up faster today.
Tired of looking at the same old kitchen? Step 1. Our talented recommended designer Mark crafts a custom design just for you. Step 2. Once your design is ready, CBS Bahamas makes ordering effortless. Your dream kitchen is within reach. Step 3. Our recommended installers bring your vision to life, ensuring every detail is perfectly in place. Sit back and relax as your dream space becomes a reality. Visit cbsbahamas.com and start bringing your home improvement dreams to life today.
Behind every strong economy is a bold entrepreneur, and we're here to support them, island by island. On Long Island, we've helped 77 entrepreneurs turn their dreams into thriving businesses. Through over $1.9 million in approved funding, the SBDC is strengthening Long Island's economy by investing in its leading sectors: fishing, transportation, and agriculture. No matter the island, every business we support strengthens the economy, starting with yours. SBDC, Bahamas.
Strong family bonds provide a crucial support system, often filling the gaps that might otherwise lead to reliance on social assistance.
If we get the family structure support system right, you won't see adult children willingly putting their parents in senior citizens' homes. You won't see anyone putting children up for adoption. We should be the safety net for when the family begins to have some challenges.
Addressing the root causes of dependency is essential, as our goal is to shift the focus from merely providing aid to fostering self-reliance.
We must be prepared to move persons from dependency to self-sufficiency to economic empowerment. And I'm asking the public to join us on this journey.
This has been the Heartbeat Brief, an inside look at the Ministry of Social Services, Information and Broadcasting.
Oh, you're still here?
But of course you are. But be sure to tune in every weekday at 7:30 p.m. for the Bahamas Tonight Access Now,
Where we bring you the brighter side of news.
Join us for the Bahamas Tonight
Access Now, weeknights at 7:30 p.m.
We'll lead off with this report. This one is a good one to lead off with for Sunday.
Your weekend news just got better. Exciting features, good vibes. It's all about the feeling.
Hey, I'm Raven, and your Sundays never felt so good. Tune into Northern Service Vibes, where culture meets conversation, every Sunday at 6:30 p.m. only on the ZNS Network.
The Hidden Disabilities Sunflower is a globally recognized symbol for persons with invisible disabilities.
The Sunflower Lanyard made our journey less stressful, smoother, and more inclusive.
REACH is proud to support the Hidden Sunflower Scheme, which makes the invisible visible. So far, the Nassau Airport Authority and the Nassau Cruise Port are Sunflower certified.
So if you see someone with a sunflower lanyard, always remember to be patient and ask if they need some help. Please be kind and always remember to show respect.
We wish to encourage more hotel operators with amenities such as water parks, restaurants, cinemas, government offices to join this initiative, making the Bahamas a more sunflower-friendly country.
Please feel free to reach out to the REACH office at 328-4123, or you can reach out to the National Commissions for Persons with Disabilities at 396-8700.
Welcome to your stress-free Sunday Sports Check. I'm Eugene Stewart. Well, Team Bahamas making their splash as they hosted their first set of practices yesterday at the Betty Kelly Kenning Aquatic Center. Head coach Trevano McPhee says the group is more than ready to dive into battle.
The team looks good. We picked our 36-member team last weekend, and it's our first practice here. We still have quite a few swimmers who are away either in boarding school, college, or in Freeport. But here in Nassau, we hosted our first team practice, and the team looked very good, very sharp. The energy coming in was very, very, very exciting. And the swimmers are looking forward to 8 straight victory.
Now, as Team Bahamas continues their training, we'll hear more from the defending aquatics champs in this week's Sportscast. Team Bahamas will compete in Martinique over the Easter weekend at this year's Carifta Games. In track and field news, a silver medal finish for University of Florida Gators sprinter Wanya McCoy at this year's NCAA Indoor Track and Field Championships. McCoy would finish in section 1 of 2 of the men's 200-meter final with a time of 20.17 seconds, placing his name among the all-time greats with a New Bahamian national record, a Florida Gators program record, 3rd in the NCAA this season, and 12th on the NCAA all-time list. And finally, the Royal Bahamas Police Force hosting its Commissioner's Martial Arts Expo yesterday, offering members of the public a free opportunity to learn about self-defense and martial arts. The event taking place at the Air Vadley Gymnasium, where attendees were treated to a series of demonstrations featuring disciplines such as karate, kung fu, judo, taekwondo, and jiu-jitsu. Participants also had the chance to see live weapons demonstrations, kata performances, and practical self-defense techniques. Organizers say the initiative was aimed at strengthening community engagement while highlighting the discipline and training behind martial arts as part of this year's Police Month celebrations. And that's been your stress-free Sunday Sports Check. I'm Eugene Stewart. Enjoy your weekend.
I don't know, but there's all kind of cars in the parking lot. You ain't even know where to park. Again, that's don't park in the... Look at this way. Like, you ain't get nowhere to go. Don't park. Just don't park in the handicap spot. Yeah, that's handicap. No, man, you can't park in the handicap spot. I ain't gonna be that long. I ain't gonna be that long. Handicap spot, boy, what's going on, dog? Man, I tell you we shouldn't park here now. This way park here, bro. I tell you we shouldn't park here. Don't get one of these things. My bad big broke, and he got a sticker inside that say this mud though. We gotta move. This is a handicap spot. That's what we gotta move. But we gotta move. Don't we can move right now. Sorry.
Be considerate. Don't use disabled parking spaces without a decal in your vehicle. This message is brought to you by the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities.
With our adoption by the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
We figured that we could use the First Bahamas branch of Toastmasters Club 1600, an all-male club that specializes and focuses on developing young men for leadership through communication.
This program has grown and has impacted our school in such a positive way that I don't think we'll ever have them leave us.
Too often, instead of us looking within, we look outside for someone to blame. Go take a look in the mirror. Instead of trying to identify what the problems are, let's try and figure out how we become a part of the solution.
We are teaching these children how to dream beyond their community.
Crime-free looks like me.
Do your part. Join the movement to a safer Bahamas.
Breast cancer is the leading cause of cancer deaths in the Bahamas and in Bahamian women. At present, we are unable to prevent breast cancer, but performing screening mammograms can detect breast cancer at its earliest when there are no symptoms and when it is more likely to be treated successfully. All women should have a primary health care provider who is aware of their medical history, family history, and risk factors. Women 40 to 45 years can choose whether to start screening in consultation with their physician. All women 45 to 54 years should have an annual mammogram. Women older than 55 years can have a yearly mammogram or choose to have one every 2 years. Monthly breast self-exams in conjunction with the mammogram can increase the odds of early detection. Be proactive about your health.
Time now for a check on tonight's weather forecast. Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean joins us in studio with the latest temperatures. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Desmond. We have partly cloudy skies outside of our studios, but here in Sandy Point, South Abaco, we're under cloudy skies with a temperature of 81 degrees. Now, the relative humidity, 66%. The winds are out of the southeast at 12 miles per hour. Your barometric pressure, 1,017.0 millibars. That is 30.03 inches, and the pressure is steady. Temperatures around the islands, Freeport, Grand Bahama at 78 degrees, 78 also in Green Toki, that's in Abaco. Marsh, Abaco, 80, 76 in Allenstown, Bimini. The Berry Islands at 80 degrees. Here in the capital, 81 degrees, and Fresh Creek, Central Andros, 80 as well. Kemp Space, South Andros, Black Point, Exuma, they're all reporting 82 degrees, which extends down into Georgetown, Exuma. Also, Clarencetown, Long Island, Rumkey, and San Salvador reporting 82 degrees. More 82 is showing up in Crooked Island. In Acklands, we have a temperature there of 83 degrees. Ragged Island, 82. Matthewtown, Inagua at 79. And over in the Churchside, Caicos Islands, they have a temperature there of 81 degrees. And your boating forecast tonight through tomorrow in the northwest and central islands. Those winds will southeast at 12 knots. The wave heights 3 to 6 feet with a moderate chop in place. So small craft, we're asking you to exercise some caution as the low tide will take place at 20 minutes past midnight with a high tide at 6:38 tomorrow morning. Now, for the southeastern islands of the Bahamas, the winds are going to be southeast, a little stronger, 12 to 15 knots. The wave heights 4 to 7 feet over the ocean. So caution flags are also in place for the southeastern islands through tomorrow. And your satellite picture, well, that's showing some prefrontal activities over Grand Bahama and the Abacos, and that will be spreading over the remainder of the northwest Bahamas tonight. Producing some showers and even some isolated thunderstorms as well. Now, the front itself will not go through until Tuesday. Behind that, you can expect a nice cool down.